Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. We are doing some videos to kind of help people through the process of registering to vote and then figuring out the best way for them to vote. And so today we're going to be talking about voting by absentee ballot in Oklahoma. And so this is just part one. So this is the part where we're going to talk about how to request your absentee ballot through the Oklahoma voter portal. So I'm Lauren Schuler. I am the Director of New Leadership and Civic Engagement at the Carl Albert Center at OU, and I advise the student group on campus called Oklahoma Votes. And so we'll just get right into it today. Kind of wanted to start off with some general important dates. I did a video on how to register. The registration deadline is October 9th. And then the deadline to request an absentee ballot is 5 p.m. on October 27th. And then you can also see the dates for early voting, so starting Thursday, October 29th and going through Saturday, October 31st, ahead of the general election on November 3rd. And you can find all of these dates on the election board's website. So, absentee voting in Oklahoma. So, requesting your absentee ballot. Some important key dates that I want everyone to be aware of. We talked about the deadline to request is October 27th by 5 p.m. But what they don't tell you is on those dates is when they have to be returned by and kind of what that process looks like. So, and we'll talk more about this kind of in part 2 or part 3 if we get we need to kind of clarify some of these things. But just to make note that if you want to hand deliver your absentee ballot because you're concerned about, mailing it through the mail or getting there on time, or, depending on how late you request that ballot, you can hand deliver it to your county election board, but that has to be done no later than 5 p.m. the day before the election, which is November 2nd. And then the deadline to return by mail is November 3rd by 7 p.m., which is when the polls close on election day. So a couple ways for you to request your absentee ballot. Honestly, the best way to do this is online through the OK Voter portal, because they've got great instructions. It's all within the system. You don't have to worry about printing and filling out anything or finding an envelope. So I really recommend doing this directly through the voter portal, and I'm going to walk you through that in the slides ahead. But you can also do a paper form if you feel like that's the way that's most comfortable to you, or as easier and more accessible. You can find the application on the election board's website. I'll link that down kind of in our text once we upload the video to YouTube. You can mail, email, fax, or hand deliver that paper request form to your county election board to get that on file. So this is what we're going to walk through the Oklahoma voter portal. So this is the first page that you're going to kind of get to. You're going to input your last name, first name, and then your date of birth, and hit Find Me. So I've kind of taken some screenshots of what that looks like, because I can't get information that isn't just solely related to me through that. So when you log in, you're going to see some things at the top that talk about like your name, your voter ID number, your party affiliation, some things. But if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see this block that says Voter Services, right? So this is where you can do a lot of different things to either like update your political affiliation, the residents within your county. If you need to update it through another county, it'll walk you through a little widget that populates your form so that then you can print and mail that in, or change your mailing address. But what we're going to focus on today is requesting that absentee ballot. So you're going to make sure that box is checked in this voter services, and then you're going to go down and you're going to hit the begin button. So once you hit that begin button, it's going to pull up your application. So I kind of screenshotted these because it's going to look a little funny as we kind of walk through, but this is what the first page is going to look like. And you'll see that I've blacked out my name, county, voter ID, and political affiliation right here. But that information is going to be there pre-populated for you. So make sure that that all looks correct on this first page. And then you're going to see this application information. Why are you requesting this absentee ballot? Now, in Oklahoma, there is no excuse required to request an absentee ballot. So this can get a little confusing for some people sometimes, because they'll read, those first several things and say, well, none of these apply to me, so, can I still request an absentee? Yes, you're going to select that very bottom box that says all other voters. So if you are not, a person in the military who's overseas requesting a ballot, or someone who is in a nursing home that needs help to vote, you're going to select that all other voters option. And then the next part of this is going to be what elections you want to request this for. Now, you'll see that there are two options, and I selected the bottom option so that it would drop down the information about specific election dates. But you can request your absentee ballot for all of the elections in calendar 2020. Now, for me, I only have 2 more in 2020, which is the November general election, and then one that's going to be probably a county or local election in December. So you can go ahead and request, the remainder of 2020. Just know that for 2021, in January, you should go and select this again, get your application on file if you want all of your ballots to come by mail again for 2021. So select whichever option, is most relevant to you. If you just want to select the November one, that's perfectly fine. And then you're going to see this information about additional voter information. So where would you like your absentee ballot to be mailed to? Now, there are 2 options. It's the first option, my voter registration address. It will actually have your address there. I've blacked mine out so that nobody can see my address, but it will list it there. And if that's the address that you would like it to go to, then you're good. Now, if say you are somebody who is a student and you're registered in one county, but you are going to school in a different location, and you want your application or your ballot to come to you, where you are at school, I would select the different mailing address and then fill out the address where you would like to receive the ballot. So you'll hit next, and then you'll continue on to this. So you're going to review these changes. Most people, if you've selected that all other voters, will have a typical or standard absentee ballot application. You're going to see that I selected just the November election. Now, if you've selected, the whole calendar year, you'll see all of the election dates in there. It's not required that you add a daytime phone or an email address, but you can if you'd like. And then you'll see under at the very bottom, ballots will be mailed to the registration address here, and that's where you'll see the address that you selected on the previous page. So that should show up there. So just make sure that that's the address that you really want it to go to. And then you're going to say, yes, I answer these questions here that say I'm submitting my own ballot, I'm eligible to receive these, and that I understand the penalties for falsifying this information. Then you're going to type your name, your full name, and then they'll pre-populate that day's date, certify that you are an actual person and not a robot, and then you'll hit submit. And it's pretty much as easy as that. So I think, if I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what this form was going to look like and how it was going to walk you through, each of those steps. So, but I think it's pretty intuitive when you're working through the process. So another thing that I wanted to say is that also on the voter portal, you can track your absentee ballot. So you'll see that, I didn't go through the process of making sure that I had an absentee ballot on for this upcoming election. So you'll see that status, application status. You currently no application for absentees. Now, once you fill that out, it might not immediately tell you that you have just done it. So, give it a little bit of time, check back, and if you have filled out the absentee request form on there, it will show up there saying, yes, you have one on file. And then you can see that I personally had voted in the last 2 elections by absentee. So this is where it will show up saying, yes, they've sent it, they've received it, and then they've counted it. So you can see that my ballot for the primary was sent just over a month before the election. So in May, ahead of the June election. And then I mailed it in. They received it, so they will log that. So when I put it in the mail, I know, hey, the election board has received this ballot. I will make a note too that counted check mark will not appear until after election day. That is for everybody. It does not matter when you mail in your ballot. It's not going to count it and say that it is certified as a counted ballot until after election day. So I know that there's some confusion around, making sure that ballots get counted and that they've received. So the best thing is to say, yes, the election board has received that ballot, and then check back after election day to make sure that it was counted. And if it's not, then I would contact your county election board to kind of ask questions about what happened with that absentee ballot. So some action items that you can take today is apply, if you have not already, to vote by absentee, if that's your preferred method. And then if you've already applied, double check that the application is on file through that OK Voter portal. And then get ready to kind of figure out how you're gonna use and verify your ballot on that affidavit ballot, which we'll do information about in subsequent videos. But are you going to get a notary? Are you going to do the photocopy of your ID that is valid because of the COVID-19 provisions that were passed by Senate Bill 210, which will be active for this upcoming election, as they were for the last 2, the primary and the runoff primary election. And then check the voter portal to see when your ballots are being mailed. And typically that will happen in early October. And then since you have been able to get through this process and request your absentee ballot, we encourage you to help others to do the same. So if you need any help or you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can go ahead and reach out to us either by email or by text, or follow our social media for upcoming and important election information. So thanks. Have a great day.